We like to think of our homes as our personal sanctuary, right? A safe, quiet place. But what if I told you that right under your feet and inside your walls, there's a secret war happening, and your house is the battlefield? So what kind of secret battle are we talking about here? No, it's not pests or anything you can see. This is something much bigger. It's a fight against the environment your house is built on. It's like this slow, silent siege that's happening 24/7. To really get what I'm talking about, let's zero in on one place, Brentwood, Tennessee. Now, you look at it, it seems like a perfectly peaceful town. But its unique geology, oh man, it makes it the perfect case study for this hidden war that's actually affecting homes all over the place. Okay, so in any good battle story, you've got to meet the villains, right? But these aren't your typical bad guys. The antagonists here are the very elements themselves. We're talking earth, water, and air. This is where it gets really interesting. Let's break down these villains. First up, you've got the earth. We're talking shifting clay soil and limestone bedrock that are constantly squeezing and stressing your water lines and sewer pipes. Then there's the water. In this part of the country, it's hard, which is just a nice way of saying it's loaded with minerals. These minerals literally build up inside your plumbing, kind of like cholesterol clogging an artery. And finally, you've got the air. Those wild freeze-thaw cycles in the winter, they turn the water inside your pipes into a weapon that can expand and just, bam, burst them wide open. So with all these forces attacking your home day in and day out, what happens? Well, your house starts to fight back. Or maybe it's more like it starts to send out distress signals. You and I, we just call them plumbing problems, but really they're symptoms that your house is under siege. All right, let's talk about that ground war. When the soil starts shifting or tree roots get aggressive and go after your sewer lines, your house will let you know. You might hear these weird gurgling sounds coming from your toilet, or maybe your sinks and showers start draining super slowly. And that unpleasant sewer smell, yeah, that's a big one. Oh, and if you see mysterious wet spots popping up in your yard, that's a huge red flag that your sewer line's been breached. Okay, now for the sneak attack, hard water damage. This one is sneaky because you might just notice a little white film on your faucets and think, no big deal. But the real damage is happening on the inside. All that mineral sediment is building up, literally choking your pipes, killing your water pressure. It makes your water heater work way harder than it should, which is why they often fail in just 8 to 12 years. And yeah, it's jacking up your energy bills in the process. And then there's the winter blitz. From December to February, that Tennessee freeze-thaw cycle is just relentless. Any pipes you have in unheated spots, think attics, crawl spaces, even outside walls, are at risk. The water inside freezes, it expands, and that expansion has enough force to literally burst a metal pipe. You might not even know it's happened until things thaw out, and suddenly you've got a massive, catastrophic flood on your hands. So here's the big takeaway from all this. That gurgling toilet, that slow shower drain, it's not just some minor annoyance that you can ignore. It's a flare being shot up. It's a warning signal from your home telling you that its basic infrastructure is in a real fight with the environment, and it might be losing. But hey, it's not a losing battle. Not at all. The key is, once you know who the enemy is, you can actually put up a really effective defense. It's about shifting your mindset from just reacting to problems to launching a strategic counterattack. And for that, well, you gotta call in the experts. And this is basically how the pros handle it. It's a simple, smart 3-step plan. First, you call in schedule. Get someone out there to actually see what's going on. Step 2, diagnose and approve. This is huge. They find the real root cause, not just the symptom, and they give you options with upfront pricing. No surprises. And finally, repair and test. They do the work with good parts, and then they test everything to make sure it's solid. See? No guesswork. Just a clear plan to win the fight. Now, a good strategy also means choosing the right weapons for the job. Let's say you've got a nasty clog. You've got options. Snaking is kind of the old school approach, sending a tool in to just break up the blockage. But then there's hydrojetting. This is like bringing in a high-pressure power washer specifically for your pipes. It doesn't just poke a hole in the clog, it blasts the pipe walls clean, which means it's a much more permanent fix. And what about your armor? When it's time to replace old pipes, you're making a big decision about your home's defenses. Do you stick with traditional copper? It's super durable and fights off that corrosion from hard water really well. Or do you go with modern PEX piping? It's flexible, so it handles those freeze-thaw cycles we talked about much better, and it's often cheaper to install. The best choice really depends on which villain you're fighting the hardest. A really critical piece of the puzzle that people forget is following the rules of engagement. And in this case, that means following the local building codes for Williamson County. It sounds boring, but it's so important. Sticking to the code means the repair is done right, it's safe, and you're not going to run into headaches with insurance or when you try to sell your house later on. And this is where having that local knowledge is your ultimate secret weapon. I mean, this quote really nails it. You don't just want a plumber. You want someone who gets Brentwood's specific plumbing challenges. They know the soil, they know the water, they know the weird weather patterns. That's how you get a solution that's actually tailored to the battlefield your home is on. So, okay, what's the big picture here? What does all this mean for you? We've been talking a lot about Brentwood, but honestly, the main lesson here applies to every single homeowner, no matter where you live. It all comes down to knowing your ground.
Yeah, this whole story about Brentwood, it's about more than just hard water and shifting soil. What it really shows us is something true for everyone. Your home has this unique, living relationship with its local environment. The ground beneath it, the water running through it, the air all around it, they aren't just passive things. They are active characters in your home's story.
So next time you hear a weird gurgle from your pipes or notice a drain is just a little bit slower than it used to be, I want you to think differently about it. Don't just dismiss it as another annoying problem. See it for what it is, a message, a clue, a piece of a much bigger puzzle. So let me ask you, what secrets is your home trying to tell you?